Okay, so here I am, I'm doing it, you guys. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't wanted to do a live video because I fear about how many times I can mess up and say the wrong thing and do all the wrong stuff, but I figure now is the best time to try this, and I feel like I'm in kind of a safe space with you guys, so I figured I'd do a Facebook Live here and get used to it because you guys are my safe space. So I have this story, and I thought about it yesterday while I was in the shower because that's where I do like my best, that's where I've had like some of my best thoughts. Because usually I take a shower with like my eyes closed. I know, but that's what I do. And yesterday I remembered this manifestation that I had, and I shouldn't even really say that it's a manifestation, but I'm going to tell you this story, and it's going to give you hope about a higher power or something beyond us, or life being magical. More of what we need to hear about, I think, during these days. So there I was at a convention. It was like 2015 or 2016, I think, in Texas. I had gone to a convention, and it was during this time that they were doing a bunch of different like classes, and it was at this huge hotel. It was at the Gaylord, which is a really neat hotel. Like, it's huge, and they have all these different rooms and stuff, but we had about 30,000 people trying to partake in all of these classes and stuff, and so it was hard to sometimes to even get into some of these classes. I mean, they planned as best as they possibly could, but it was just, an interesting experience. Anyways, so I'm sorry if I keep playing with my hair, it's a habit. So I went to go take this one class. You guys, I had been waiting for this class like almost the whole time. I couldn't wait. It was about essential oils and chemistry. And it was by this doctor that I just knew I was going to love hearing him speak, because I had heard about 2 minutes of some insight from him prior. And so I went with my friend at the time to go stand in line for a bus, because the bus was going to take us to the location, right? It was an undisclosed location. And so we stood there in line and we waited, and like we showed up really early, so we were at the front of this ridiculously long line because I had to see this guy talk. Okay, it was so neat because I was like at the front of this line, or what I thought was the front, and when the bus showed up to pick us up, I was super excited. I was like, man, as long as we get on that bus, we got a place, because like you couldn't pre-register for these classes, like you just had to time it right. So if you can picture us standing in line, and then the bus arrives, pulls up, and actually the bus starts dropping people off, and they say, oh, that class is full, you can't go, like, sorry, we can all leave now. And I was like, no. Guys, I was like devastated that was even a possibility. And I was like, no, I couldn't believe it. Like, I thought we were there early. And the bus driver's like, nope, sorry, it's closed, and so they were like trying to shoo us away to like, I don't really know why. Like, the whole thing was kind of mysterious to me. But anyways, it's all about trust, okay? It's all about having the faith. Anyways, so I'm like, I'm just racking my brain, like, if I just knew where the location was, if I just knew how to get there, I'm like, Sandy, like, we got to figure this out, like, we got to go. And she's like, Marie, we can't. Like, the bus takes us there. And I'm like, you're right. The bus driver will know where to go. So the bus driver, I asked the bus driver, right? I'm like, so, I was acting all nonchalant, like I didn't really know what I was doing. That's where, like, the Ditzy card, if you play it right, can get you what you need, I'm telling you. I always keep a Ditzy card in my back pocket for these reasons. I don't need to be right. I just need my info. I know, it sounds terrible, but whatever, right? So there I am, and I ask the bus driver, I'm like, so where exactly do you take people when they're looking for this class? And he's like, oh, just right over there, right over there, across the parking lot. And I'm like, wait a second. So like they're making us get on a bus to go right over there across the parking lot. I'm like, Sandy, this is sweet. We're going to get into this class. I just know it. We're going to be able to see this doctor I want to see so bad, you know. And she's like, but Marie, they said that they were full. They said that they locked the doors and all this other stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, I said, I'm going to go. I'm going to do it. And she's like, you are? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going. And this lady had been overhearing me. And she's like, you know what? If you go, I'll go. And I'm like, you will? And she's like, yeah. And Sandy's like, I'm going to stay. They're closed, you know. And I was like, okay, fine. Have fun. And then me and this lady, and it was almost like this lady was like kind of an angel sent with me, because I love doing things with other people. Like, they're not half as much fun when you do them by yourself, right? And she had as much enthusiasm about the whole thing as I had, and that's even better in my book. So her and I take off, you know, we're walking on the sidewalk to get to this place that's across the parking lot that apparently stopped 99.9% of the people from even going over there because they didn't want to do the walk. But this is where persistence pays, right? So her and I are like walking. We're having so much fun. We're so excited. We're just talking about the possibilities if we get into this class. We're talking about all that we're going to learn. We're talking about what our favorite essential oils are. We're just having a blast. You know, we have no idea what the future holds, but we're having a blast, like envisioning it and seeing it and loving the thought of it and the idea. And we come across our first group of what I like to call naysayers. These women were crazy. And I don't like to use crazy and women in the same sentence because we all know, right? Like, we're women. But they were so mean. And they were like, where are you guys going? And we're like, oh, we're just going to go check out the class over there. And everybody had to put in their 2 cents. And this is something about when you're trying to get to your goal, your ability to weed out what looks like reality, or what looks like naysayers, or what looks like somebody trying to stop you. You just got to keep going. So what we did was we said, oh, okay, well, thanks for the information. Appreciate it. We kept going. And they looked at us and they were angry. They were downright angry at us that we kept going there. They were just like hooting and hollering, like, you can't get in and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, wow. And then I started to have a moment, because it was like I got a flashback from the past, where a time previous in my past where I had people do that. And I knew that when I kept going, the other side of that, the other side of the naysayers, the other side of the people that are coming at you, the other side of the ick, is where the light shines. But you got to get through it, right? Now, just so you know, I am doing this live just as much for you as I am for myself, because I really believe in the power of getting to the frequency, and I really wanted to get into the frequency of sharing this story, because it reminds me so much of what we are capable of and what life has to offer us. I think we forget that along the way. We know that as children. We know it. We can feel it. Most of us even get to our 20s and we know it and we feel it and we love on it. But sometimes along the way. Anyways, let me get back to the story. So we're still walking on this, you know, and I mean, mind you, it wasn't even like a mile. I mean, I'm not good with distance, but it wasn't very far, right? Because you could see it. And so we kept walking on the sidewalk, me and this lady, and we got to another group of women, and they're like, hey, you guys, it's closed, you can't even get in, so just go back, you know, maybe you can get into another class. And I'm like, no, well, I said, it's a nice day out. It's beautiful. We're just walking. We're just going to go check things out. And they got weird with us. And they were like, no, you can't get in. You can't get, I mean, like, if I were to be one to follow the crowd, you guys, and if I were to take it personally with sometimes what people say, I would have literally turned around and walked back with them if I was what I would consider sheep. But I was like, at that point, it was like my rebel was kicking in. And I'm like, oh, man, if I have to go through all of this just to go see if a class is open, this must be a good class. So we kept on going. And she was like, this lady that I was walking with, she's like, wow, this is so weird. She's like, why are they being like this with us? And I'm like, I have no idea. Like, it was weird. So we're getting closer to this big, beautiful, white, round building. And I was so excited about it because it was like the neatest little building I had ever seen. Okay, not ever, but it was pretty close. And I thought, oh my God, this is like the perfect place to have this class. Like this, I'm so excited about this class. This doctor's going to be amazing. This information's going to be amazing. God, I hope we can get in. I hope we can get in. And then I go and I check one of the doors. We get to the first door and I'm like pulling on all the doors and like my heart just sinks. And I'm like, oh crap. I'm like, well, the walk was nice. The sun was shining. It was beautiful out. I got to meet this wonderful lady that I consider my angel. Like, it was still worth it. Like I still had, a good feeling about it. And as I turn around to walk away, this lady that I was walking with, my angel, she goes, Marie, she's like, check out this door. And I was like, oh my God, the door's open. The door is open. So like, I'm like, oh my, I was freaking out. I'm like, how did those other ladies not notice that the door was open? And I'm just like scared at that point. I'm like, crap, do we go in? Can we go in? I don't know what's going on. And so we get to the door and she opens up the door and I was like, okay, I made her like kind of shut the door again. I'm like, okay, we know that the door is open. I go, here's the game plan. I go, I don't know what's going on. I don't know who's waiting at the door for us because some of the ladies beforehand were trying to tell us that there were people that were going to tell us to go away at the front door. And so then I thought, well, okay, so I'm going to shut the door. We're going to like walk in. I'm going straight to the bathroom. I go, do you want to go with me? And she's like, well, she goes, yeah, maybe I should. I was like, okay, we're gonna go to the bathroom. And if anybody stops us, we're going to say, we just need to use the bathroom and we'll be out of here, right? She's like, oh yeah, good plan, because then we'll look like the rest of the people when we come out of the bathroom if nobody sees us get to the bathroom. So we walk into the place and we take off and we bolt towards the bathroom because we had, you could see it kind of like it was pretty obvious. So we both ran to the bathroom. You guys, we get to the bathroom and the angel's saying to me again, because this doctor, this man that I'd wanted to hear so bad speak was on the loudspeaker in the bathroom. And I was like, oh my God, I don't need to go sit in the audience. I can literally sit in the bathroom and hear the whole class that I wanted to hear. Now, I know that's not the ideal situation. I know it's a little weird, but you guys, you have no idea how bad I wanted to hear this doctor speak. And so I was just beyond joyed, I was so overjoyed. So there I am standing next to like the sink, like with my notes, like writing notes, just taking notes. Like literally I thought I had arrived, right? And this to me is where it gets like crazy. So I was accepting it at that point, like I had arrived. We had gotten through all those people that said that we couldn't do it, that we wouldn't be able to do it, all the naysayers and stuff. And there I was hearing my class. And then the lady that I went with, she goes, you know what, I'm going to go outside and see what's going on, see if we can find a seat or something. And I was like, okay. I'm like, if you want, but I'm comfortable right here. Like, I can be a little bit rebellious, but after, I kind of get to my goal, like, I'm pretty content. And she goes, okay, I'll come back for you probably. And I'm like, okay, no worries if you don't. So she took off to go see what the situation was, to see if we could find a seat anywhere or whatever, because we were just amazed we got in the building. And she comes back like 2 minutes later and she's like, you're not going to believe this. And I was like, what? I'm like, should we stay here in the bathroom and just take notes? And she's like, no. She's like, you're not going to believe this. And I was like, okay. So I was like taking inside myself, I was taking a risk by following her because I felt like I had already gotten the best of the best. And I was like, well, they're going to know we didn't get in here. I just felt like they would know. She's like, no, trust me. And so I followed this lady, and she had another lady that was running the program, was like handling all the people in there, like organizing where everybody was sitting, somebody that would completely have the power to kick us out of there. And I was like, oh, I seen her and I went, and I bet I looked guilty as heck, like super guilty, right? And she's like, here, come here, follow me. And I'm like, follow me? Where are we going? Like, what is happening? Like, the place is packed, right? And she takes us up this stairway, which, mind you, has a glow about it, like this lighting up here. Like, literally, there's this big, bright, beautiful light pouring through. We go up this wonderful stairway, and she literally does one of these things, like and she goes, here you go, ladies. She's like, a nice couch for you to sit on. And I'm like, what? I'm not kidding when I say that this place was completely packed. Like, I literally wouldn't have wanted to sit on the ground floor because people were like, there was no extra space. And I kind of like some space sometimes. And I was looking at that and I'm thinking, wow, these people down there are claustrophobic. But this lady just showed us a white leather couch that had nobody sitting on it, that was on the second level with a perfect view of this doctor that I wanted to see so bad. Perfect, unobstructed view. We could hear him crisp and clear. Like, there was this beautiful little coffee table in front of us. Like, the whole place was packed except for that couch. Why nobody else was sitting on that couch, I have no idea. Why that was open, I have no idea. Why the lady that could have kicked us out brought us to the best seat in the house, I have no idea. How we got in that building when everybody told us we couldn't get in that building, I have no idea. Why we kept going when everybody told us we couldn't, I have no idea. But this is why I wanted to share this story with you guys. I want you to know that when there's something that you want, if you literally trust, or at least keep going if it's fun, you just never know how good it can get. And it got so good that day. Like, so we sat there and I got to listen to this doctor tell all about everything I wanted to hear. But I'll be honest when I say I almost couldn't hear it at all because I was so beyond. I was in like this frequency of amazement and joy and love and gratitude, and I think that's truly why I got to be there, because it was never about watching this doctor talk. It was about the universe, or whatever you want to call it, source, showing us, like, hey, if you trust, if you believe, if you know, even if you go with the good feeling, even if you start, because her and I were talking that whole way to that class about how neat it would be if we could get inside, like, not demanding that we have to, not saying like, we better get in, but like, just, it'd be cool, it'd be really neat if, especially, being that, sometimes I get fueled by the naysayers, I guess. But you guys, it was so neat. It was like I just sat there and I just sat in like a place of love after that. absolutely one of the neatest things I'd ever experienced before. So I just love like reliving that story because it excites me and it reminds me all the time what it is out there for us. Like when we think it can't possibly get better and then it does, how fun is that? How neat is that? So that's my story. I love that story. And every time I tell it, I think I tell different details. Like I remember more. So I'm sure you'll hear me tell it again in the future because I love that story. I could sit in that story all day long, just the feeling of it. Just the feeling of how empowering it was. How empowering it was, even for me to sit and not to sit, but to trust that, hey, it could get better than being in the bathroom listening to the speaker. They could have a beautiful white couch just for us too. Oh no. I mean, so I'm going to try and stay in this vibration now for a while. Hopefully you guys can too. Hopefully you guys can apply this vibration, this thought, this excitement, this faith to your life and whatever you're going through, whatever you want to get better or to be better or to have better, or all the above. So I hope that was helpful. Not too long. Have a great day, guys. Bye.